Scouter, where we'll be seeing more, where we'll be seeing into your future tonight. Hi guys, so welcome to this special episode of the Paranormal Scouter, and we're going to be answering your we've put a post out on Facebook asking you to ask us questions that we can then answer on a video, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
You took my part.
I did take your part, didn't I?
You just took my part. Right, the questions.
No.
Oh.
Wait.
I was excited.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Paranormal Scouter. No, cut that.
No, we're just doing what we
Just
did
do what we
before.
did before.
That was good.
Hi guys. I don't want to say hello.
No.
Hello and welcome.
I don't want to say hello.
Hello and welcome to the Paranormal Scouter special episode.
Tonight, we're going to be answering questions that you've put forward to us about the paranormal.
Some of these questions aren't all serious, and we are going to be reading out the joke ones. Yes, Simon. We've been watching you.
Cucumber.
What?
Yeah, dressed like a cucumber.
You are dressed like a cucumber, especially for the occasion. But we've just leaked one of the questions, pretty much. Well,
I don't leak the question. They're there for everyone to see.
It would help if I actually had my phone at the ready, because
Gosh,
this is
not
where
my
the questions actually are. But before we do that, what we're going to do in this episode here, this special episode, we're actually going to show you a clip from our Monday night episode. So this Bank Holiday Monday at 8 PM, we're going to be premiering our first episode back. And hopefully, depending on how things go, we're going to be doing those weekly as well. You've been working hard on locations, haven't you?
I have, and I feel like I'm not getting enough appreciation, Dan.
Oh. Maybe later. Okay. Scrap that. Right, so what we're going to do is going to find the questions, and we will have a surprise member of the team coming on to the video a bit later on as well. But yeah, as I go on to the clip, we will show you a clip of what's to come on Monday night, this bank holiday, at 8 PM. So put it in your schedules. Lots of you'll be off work, so there's no excuse for that to be an empty premiere. We expect to see you there, and we know your names. We know your names, so if you're on the Facebook group and you're saying you're coming and you don't come,
I will be coming for you.
there we go. So let's first of all, let's start with the questions. Do you want to go first?
Right, we've got Colin.
Colin. Oh, don't even. What has Colin asked? Is it a serious one or is it a jokey one? Because we have got some jokey ones.
No, Colin's been serious this time.
Has he been serious?
Yeah, he's behaved.
Okay.
Right, Colin has commented, I want to know if a ghost or spirit remains at a certain place even if that place is no longer there. Me personally, I think they do.
What's your thought?
I don't think they do. Well, it depends. Yes and no. I feel like a spirit can be attached to a certain place, or they can be attached to a certain person. So say if a person has passed away in their home and they love that home, they don't want to leave that home, or they believe that when their family members pass away, they could come back to that home where they could all be together again. Or you could have some, do you know when people say, oh, their grandparents or their parents are looking over them? It could be some truth to that, where a spirit is looking over you, so they're following you around. So it's a yes and a no.
I want to add to that, because I believe with this question of Collins is that people can remain, or spirits or ghosts can remain. I'd say spirits can remain, because that's going to lead on to another question later on. But I'd say a spirit would remain at a property for the reason that Charles just mentioned, and also the fact that a tragic death, you usually find that if they've had a tragic death, they can either be grounded to that location, that area, or they've just got unfinished business and they don't want to leave until someone's actually helped them. So I think that could be a potential. I will read the next question for you. Yeah. Did you read the question and then answer it?
Yeah, I read a question.
Okay. So I've got a question here two questions from Tracy Linden. Tracy has wrote in and said, what's the difference between a spirit and a ghost? And as I said on the last question, that is something that I wanted to touch on. So a spirit is, I believe a spirit, me personally, this is my opinion, okay? So people out there may have different opinions. It's unproven, it's paranormal. But my opinion is that a spirit is somebody who's died and left a physical body. And they are able to roam around or have special powers or allowed to do certain things. You know, me and Sean were looking at a video the other night about ghost theory, weren't we?
Yeah.
And in actual fact, we were mesmerised because they were getting knocking that was telling them that the spirit couldn't do certain things because of a higher power, which is a theory I absolutely love. I'm really into that. So yeah, and then obviously a ghost, I believe a ghost is something that's replaying. So it's like a fracture in time. So when you see a ghost, you're seeing what happened a long time ago, which is happening now for them, and it's just time clashing together, and that creates a ghost.
Like
and
an imprint.
Not like an imprint, because an imprint is something that's left from the past. This is like a clash of time. So something in the World War, say something in here now. If we heard something from World War II, it's actually happening, but in a different time.
Okay.
Right. So it's actually active for them, but it's the past for us, and the two times are clashing, and that could go into a massive theory about how vibrations happen and that different time zones sit on different frequencies, and that sometimes when they touch together you get things like ghosts, but that's a whole different theory. So yeah. Next question.
Tracy's next one, isn't it?
Tracy's Linden has another question. She says, what is a shadow figure? I'm going to ask you this one.
What is a shadow? Do you know what? I think that goes more into mythology than sort of spirits.
Yeah.
So I think a shadow figure, I'm not really sure on that one because I don't know much about mythology.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm aware, a shadow figure is a dark entity.
Yeah, I believe
could
so.
Be a dark entity.
Yeah.
Whether you class it as mythology or paranormal, it's personal opinion. But I believe it is a dark entity.
I think it is as well, to be honest. Yeah, I would agree with that. Next question. Do you want to read that one out from Julie? Yeah. Julie Chalk.
Julie Chalk. What protects you from the spirit going home with you, and can members join you in ghost/spirits hunt?
So, what protects you from spirits going home? So, I think this is all down to belief, really. I mean, back on the channel quite a while ago, I worked with a lovely lady at Boho Crystals. She'd sent me an unwrapped gift pack, which we still have the crystals to this day, don't we? Yeah. She gave us all protection crystals and things like that. I tried using them, but I didn't see any difference, really. I didn't consider it to be protection. I think I have been followed at home many times. But I always say when I leave a premises, you're not allowed to go or leave this premises and come with us. You have to stay there. It's off camera. I do it off camera, but every time I leave a property, I always say that, don't I?
Yeah, you do.
And most spirits will respect it. Some spirits will be cheeky and they will follow you. You just ignore it. I know it's hard to say that because obviously we had a video where we couldn't ignore.
Yeah.
We had a very nasty entity in this house. We could not ignore that.
No.
But so I do understand when people are being terrorised by, I'd say, an entity. I don't think ghosts terrorise or spirits terrorise. I think they're peaceful. I think it's dark entities that do that kind of thing. So that's where I go in terms of protection. really.
The follow on to that as well, with the can members join you in ghost hunts, spirit hunts, I want to leave that question for the end because I know a couple of people have asked that same question.
Yeah.
So I want to leave it to the end and just answer that as a whole to the people who've asked it. Rather than going down the comments and repeating ourselves, I'll just leave that to the end and answer that one at the end.
As for this next question, we have our very own Amy that's going to answer this next question. So we're going to hand you over to Amy now, and we'll be back in a second.
Hello guys, I hope you're well. It's Amy from the Paranormal Scouters. I do have Aurora May with me. I do apologise, she's not very well. I'm going to answer the next question. And the question is from Doreen Finn. How long can entity stay solid in form / shape? Well, it all depends on energy. If you're given enough energy, then they will thrive off that energy and they will stay in shape. If your energy declines, then it won't be able to form shape as strong as it would with your full energy. So the answer to that question is it all depends on the energy that it is taking. So I hope that helped, and I hope you enjoy all the questions being answered.
Thanks, Amy. She will be back with another question in a short while. What we're going to do is we'll go on to another question, and it's from... We'll go to the next one because that's another one of Amy's, so she'll be answering that later.
It's Erica Peterson.
Yeah.
Why do some spirits, why do some stay behind while others seem to move on?
Again, I think that comes down to unfinished business.
Yeah,
or
I
what
think
you were
it's
saying.
unfinished business, or sometimes as well. I believe that some spirits or ghosts or whichever you want to refer to them by, don't believe they've actually passed on and they've died. So they've probably, I don't know, might think, oh, I'm just living my normal life, going about business, not realising.
Seeing the property as they died and not how it is today.
Yeah, not realising.
Sort of yeah.
So it could be unfinished business, it could be them not realising they've passed away. There could be many reasons behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got another question from April Matos. Where are all the ghosts with a sense of humour? I was just asking someone else. A ghost doesn't set off a REM pod with a pattern of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Please tell me you know that film.
Close Encounters?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I feel like I've heard of it.
If I do the sound...
Go on, do the sound.
Tell me, you've not seen that film? That's what it does in the film. That is the film because you've never seen it.
Yeah, it might happen, Dan, but I've not seen it.
She needs. It's an absolutely brilliant film. Like it's an 80s. I think it's a Spielberg film.
Oh, I do like a Spielberg.
I mean, I've got to say, it would be absolutely amazing if that did happen on the REM pod. I think I'd be really happy with that. But I think some spirits have attitude. Some spirits have had sense of humour, and I think. But I think they have an agenda.
I think some spirits do have a sense of humour. When we went to Taxel Lodge, we heard children, what we thought were children, running around the outside of the building laughing.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
We did. We've had spirits laughing before.
That's the most terrifying thing, kids laughing on an investigation. Oh my god, I hate it.
They scare me more than adults.
Yeah, they do.
Children are scary.
It's like living a horror film, isn't it?
And as well, like as much as people are sceptical about apps, we've had things come through on apps, which, there you go, people could be 50-50 about apps.
And I do have a little bit of a rant about apps in my next video, don't I? Yeah, I do have a rant about apps in my next video. Right, Ty Smith.
This is my favourite.
Go on, you read it then.
I don't know if I'm going to say the word right because I keep calling it something else.
Just give us your best shot.
Does a sucky bus sucky I'm just going to call it a sucky bus.
A sucky bus.
A sucky bus.
A sucky bus.
A succubus. A succubus. A succubus.
Does a succubus have a gender? Now, based on the fact that this is not actually a proven fact of a fact, I would generally say, from what I know, a succubus is a male entity that sucks off male humans. Yeah. No,
it's okay, Dad. It's okay.
That is what I believe. And we always used to have a running joke about John from Paranormal Boys. Always, John, he loves a bit of succubus. So that was always a bit of a running joke.
Who doesn't like a bit of succubus?
Oh, shut up. Yeah, so I believe it might have a gender and it might be male, is the answer to your question, Ty Smith. There we go. You got the long one here.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually,
you just did
read
the succubus one.
You read that question. So I read this question. No, you answer.
No, I read the name, Daniel.
No, you didn't. I read the question.
You read the question. I just read the.
Would you want? I tell you what. You do some reading lessons, and I'll let you read the big paragraph. How about that?
How about you, fucking pussy?
What? Excuse me. What? I'm going to ban her off the channel. Right, go on. Read your
going to ban me?
Ban you off the channel.
Right. Denny Hart. Why is it when we ask for names of who we are talking to, like on a murder house investigation, we rarely get a name back, but we might get a male or female response? Is it maybe because when we do pass, we lose our names and resume as spirits versus a solid form?
I think, Denny, I think it's more of the question you ask, I think it's more of a theory than an actual question that can be answered. Obviously, it's not something we would know, is it? But I like where you're going with that. I do like where you're going with that, and I think I was talking to Charlotte the other day about when some of us die. Like, obviously, you've mentioned the murder house. When some of us die in such a terrible circumstance, I believe it creates and leaves a little bit of dark matter on the property or the location of where it happened. And I think what that dark matter does is it manifests the energy of what happened at that terrible time. I don't believe that the spirit remains in the property, but I do believe we get voices because the dark matter that's left, that's created, the dark energy that's created from that, it essentially allows us to tap into a replay of the things that have happened. And I generally think that is a theory that I came up with when I investigated the Screaming House before. I believe it's knocked down now, isn't it? Yeah. And it's a theory I come up with after investigating the Screaming House, because although we felt the feelings of different spirits and different emotions in that place, I generally think it was a dark energy that was created from the murder. I don't think any of the spirits were actually there. But I think when you talk about dark energies around this dark matter, I think the nasty not spirits, but nasty entities are drawn to this dark matter. It's like an energy source, and that's why you get these malevolent spirits in these places. But that would be my theory. Yeah. That would be my theory and a response to your question.
Well, just to add on to that, from a psychology point of view,
yeah,
when you're asking for names but you rarely get a name back, when it's in sort of a house where a tragedy has happened,
yeah,
from a psychology point of view, if you look at quite a lot of serial killers or murderers, they don't actually come to terms with what they've done. They don't believe they've done anything wrong. So you could be asking for their name and they're like, I don't want to give you my name.
Yeah.
I've not done anything wrong. Why are you asking these questions, kind of thing? Because you've still got to consider a spirit as someone who's still not
conscious and aware.
Yeah. So it's like really, if they have done something wrong, or it could be seen as like a police interrogation to them. So they might not sort of give names because they feel interrogated if they have sort of done something wrong as well. So there's just a theory of maybe why you might not get a name back if it's in a situation like that.
Baz and Joe Hodge, they've asked a question. Congratulations on becoming moderator on the channel, by the way, Baz and Joe.
Yay!
What do you think of ley lines and also layers? It's very interesting because I think Charles looking at me as to what the
I know what ley line is.
Do you?
And I know what layers are. You put them on when you go cold. No, ley lines, they're the sprays in the air, in the aeroplanes.
No, they're not.
I'm thinking of chemtrails.
No, they're supposed to be lines that run a certain way of the earth. Ramming is supposed to be.
Oh, I've heard this before. Yeah, I've heard this before.
Ramming is supposed to be on there, and it goes all the way up. I think Stonehenge is on ley lines, and there's quite a few landmarks in Britain that are supposedly on ley lines, and there's supposed to be some kind of spiritual connection between those different areas, and I think it goes around the world.
Yeah.
So, and I think ley lines would be very interesting. I mean, what you've got to think is there's it's a bit of a sci-fi theory, but there's one that's called morphic fields, and morphic fields is where certain people come up with the same idea millions of miles away, and it's like the cavemen. So you think about the cavemen, they learnt to create fire with sticks and stone and the sun and whatever. They had no communication with cavemen hundreds of miles away, but those different cavemen 100 miles away discovered the same thing around about the same time. So it's like morphic fields is more like our brain energy is generally connected in some kind of sense, which would again be a very interesting theory, I think. I'm probably nerding out on you here.
Yeah, you are. I've kind of zoned out a little bit, to be fair. Right, next one.
Darrell Evans.
Yep. Where is the best place you've been? Depends. Best place for like the best history behind it, or the best results from it.
I would say the best place for you. And why? Yeah. What would be your best place? I know you're quite new to it, so you've not been to many.
I really like the Warren House.
Yeah, the Warren House.
I really like the Warren House.
Yeah.
The responses we got from that with the cat ball.
Yeah.
Oh, but saying that, I really like the Poltergeist House. The Poltergeist House. Just because it's one thing seeing a cat ball go off.
Yeah.
And having responses through that way. But going into a place where you don't know the history about it and hearing dragging along the floor, and it's not just like, oh, we've heard a little knock or something like that.
It was like
someone putting a washing machine along
the floor.
3 of
us all were convinced.
Yeah,
that
and it wasn't just once, it was multiple times after we'd gone through the whole building, seen that no one's there. So hearing that, and it took us back, and we was like, what was that?
Yeah.
And then the next day I thought, oh, okay, right, Dan's editing the video and getting it all sorted. I'm going to have a look at some history about it to sort of do voiceover, for you to do voiceovers with and things. Yeah. And reading that, we weren't the only ones to hear that multiple people who've gone into that place has heard that, and it's called the Poltergeist House for that reason. It just takes you back a bit, like, wow.
Yeah.
It's not, we weren't imagining it.
Yeah.
It happens, and there's no explanation to it, and other people have heard it, and there's been no explanation to it.
Yeah, I think for me, probably the most terrifying and the best location I've ever been to was St. Joseph's in Preston before it was knocked down. I went there with Simon and Julie from Haunting Hunters Paranormal twice. Both times were terrifying. I've even caught EVPs there, so I caught an EVP of someone down my camera saying I'm an Exodus. and there was people in the building, trashing the building, and I said, to Simon, I'm going to scare them out. I'm an exodus. I thought, what the hell is an exodus? And an exodus, when I researched it, it was someone that gets rid of people. And I think the spirit was saying, okay, let's team together and get these idiots out. So that was interesting. And then in the morgue area of St. Joseph's, it was Gay Morgan, actually, that pointed this out. I do this feeling, and she spots that this orb goes through in my mouth, which that was interesting. And then obviously the voices that we heard, the nurses, the girls, everything down that hallway. St. Joseph was just the best place I've ever been to. And then after that, got to be the Screaming House the first time, not the second time with the other two channels that I went with, but the first time that I went with Simon and Julie at Horton's Paranormal. That was a crazy experience. Actually, tell a lie, the second time I went to the Screaming House, the door closed on us, and the people that I were with tried to open the door and they couldn't open it for a couple of seconds. I rewatched Ghost Theory's video on the Screaming House, and they got locked in as well. I couldn't, when I was watching that, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was so shocked. I was like, I don't remember seeing this when this video first released. So yeah, brilliant. Well, we'll crack on with the questions because I'm sure we are running for time.
You're Howie.
Howie. So Howie Shaw, when contacting evil spirits, how do you make sure that they don't attach to you and follow you? Call in Anne Rees and her team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love Anne.
Yeah, we love Anne. I mean, you've got to think, it's like Anne came here, she did what she did with Donna and Vicky, and she told us the description of this bloke. I'm not going to say any names because it was in this property and I don't want to start anything off. And you were thinking for days, who could it possibly be? And then you thought of someone that's in your past that had passed away that matched that description.
Yeah.
And it was just like Anne Rees, and Donna, that experiment was spot on. The top notch to there.
They are the original Ghostbusters.
They are the original Ghostbusters. And we got a lot of stick from that video. So,
Great video.
It was a great video. We got a lot of stick for that.
And
so
it helped us as well.
It did help us.
And that's the thing that matters. When you're doing paranormal things, if you're helping someone, that's a massive bonus. It's great because we love to help people.
Yeah.
We like to make an impact.
Part 2 did really well as well. We did a Victorian experiment for that, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
Right,
Julie
okay,
Cross.
so, where? Julie Cross.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a spirit? I believe I have.
I believe I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pick your time. Just pick a time instead of going through all of them. Just pick a time where you.
When I was 6 years old, we had a house fire. And as we were walking past the fire to try and get out, my mum was getting me and my sister out. There was a spirit. It was like a black figure. And it had its arms out and it was as if it's keeping the fire back. And I saw this at 6 years old. And I'll never forget it. It's burnt into my brain. It's something I'll never forget. I think this is what shifted me towards paranormal at a very early age. And as soon as we left the house, the radiator had got a little bit too hot and the whole thing burst and the whole house at the front blew up. So I generally think there was a family member that was protecting us, and I think that's the first time and the most clearest memory I have of seeing a spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm trying to pick a time where it was like that time. Right, so when I was 16, I was living in a house, obviously with my parents, but my mum was out. I was looking after the house for the night. Just heard racket coming from downstairs. I was up in my room. I went downstairs. The dogs were going mental. They were barking. The TV had turned round, which is really hard to believe.
Yeah.
And I ran upstairs to phone my mum, and heard footsteps and scraping outside my door. So I completely freaked out, grabbed the dogs, ran out the house, and as I was coming out the house, I am pretty sure that I saw a man standing inside my living room.
This is where you sit in the dark and goosebumps. I got my back to a doorway here, and it's like that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do is, before we go on to the next question, we're going to go back to Amy, and she is going to answer another question for you. So here we are, Amy, it's your turn.
I'm going to be answering Biggest Dickus' question, and the question is, why do people see ghosts or spirits rather than multiple at one time? Okay, so the answer is you can see multiple at one time. If there is multiple in the room, you will see them. When it comes to communicating with them, it's better to communicate one at a time. And that's because if they're trying to get a message over to their loved ones, you might, mix it in with somebody else's message to a loved one. So you have to speak one at a time so you can get the message to the right person, I guess. So the answer to the question, Biggest Dickus, is yes, you can see more than one spirit at a time.
There we go, that was Amy answering another question, so thank you very much. Amy will be appearing on another video of the Paranormal Scouter channel very, very soon. Going on to the next question is one of our favourites. Obviously, we love Colin.
We love Colin.
We love Colin James. Colin, you asked the question, why are monks always unpleasant in ghost form? And under this one, you had Rachel Maddock that actually gave an answer. Disillusioned people, angry with their harsh autocratic life, and I think that sort of answers that question, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, I do believe that monks... I don't really want to say anything because it's quite a controversial, depending on belief, so yeah, believe that one there.
Yeah, that's it. Penny Marway, you asked the question, would you take a subscribe button and invest, leaving that one to Charlotte at the end of the video. And
your favourite one now?
This is my favourite one. So Michael Mander, you actually asked the question. The stone tape theory is actually one of my favourite all-time theories, and so believing in it, yes, 100%, Michael. I 100% believe that the stone tape theory is a thing. And I talked about it earlier on. I do believe that you walk in a building, you can hear the past, shadows of the past that's been recorded by the physical materials that build the structures around us. So yeah, 100%. Do you know much about that theory?
Is it the one where it's like in the walls?
Yeah, where the walls are like a record.
I do, because look at it from a scientific point of view.
Yeah.
Stone and materials absorb sound.
Yeah. So
I think it is possible for a material to absorb sound and store it. So I do. I do believe in that one. Yeah.
So we're nearly getting to the end of the questions now, aren't we?
Yeah, this is the last one on this one, and then we've got another.
Do you want to read this one?
Right, so Howie Shaw, what is the furthest you have travelled / are willing to travel for an investigation?
The furthest I've travelled for an investigation?
But you got to think, it's not just the furthest. We've travelled quite far in one night. Like, we went down to Amy's house, looked around sort of her area, couldn't find a location that was sort of, we'll go do that one.
Yeah, we did.
And we was back and forth. We went all the way from Birmingham area all the way over to near enough Wales.
Near enough Wales.
Looking around there, went back from Wales back
to Coventry.
No, there was somewhere in between.
Oh, somewhere in between. Then
that's when we went to the Warren House of Amy.
Yeah, the Warren. Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
So we've been. That was all in one night.
That was about 6 hours driving, wasn't it?
So we've travelled quite far. And willing to travel. I mean, but there's quite a few locations around us that we've not been to.
Yeah.
So before we start branching out and going really far, we want to sort of give these other locations, check them out a little bit. Obviously, we have got 2 children. We've got a little baby as well. So we're not really wanting to leave her and James for long periods of time, especially while she's so little. But as she gets older, we are going to be going, sort of branching out a bit more, going further and further. We both drive, so it's not a problem.
Well, to be honest, I think when the channel grows, I generally want to go to Croatia.
Vampire City.
Yeah, and I saw Dark Arts and Sam and Jess. I don't know if you know their channels very well.
No.
But I know that they had a fantastic time in Croatia, and it's supposed to have so much.
I would like to go to America.
America would be good. America would be really good. I think that sums up the questions.
No, there's more.
There isn't.
There is.
There isn't.
Where is it?
There isn't.
There is.
Is there? No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
There is.
No, that we wouldn't. Dropping your vape. We've already answered that question.
This one. Here.
Yeah, Denny Hart. He said, I've already put it in another WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the question's done.
Well, I'm just being thorough.
You're just being thorough. Guys, thank you.
No, you've done my question!
What?
Right, bring in people on investigations.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been speaking about this all day today since the first question before it popped up. It would be nice to bring subscribers along with us, because we do really appreciate everything you do for us, all the support, because without you we wouldn't be sort of growing.
No.
We wouldn't be going to these places. So without you, so we want to show our appreciation. We don't want to take you to...
What the hell was that?
I think it's something falling out of Jane's bed. We don't want to take you to abandoned places like we go to, because it's very dangerous. We don't want to be... Obviously, we wouldn't be liable because we're not a company or anything like that, but we don't want to have that on our chest if anyone gets hurt.
Shoulders.
Chest,
We
head, shoulders, knees and
we wouldn't
toes.
want to have that on our shoulders. I don't think chest is the right...
I don't know, Dan. Just go with it.
I'm going with it.
We don't want that sort of bearing down, because we would feel extremely guilty if anyone got hurt in those locations. We don't recommend anyone to go in those into those kind of buildings unless they are fully aware of the risks and they have someone who knows they're going to these places. So we wouldn't recommend going in these places. However, saying that, we have been looking at sort of holding events where we hire out a location which is completely safe for people to come and join us.
Be insured.
And be insured, and just knowing that everyone's safe, because that's our main concern, is that everyone's safe. So it is something that we are looking into, and hopefully very soon in the future we will be able to bring subscribers along with us, because we do this because we love it. It's a hobby, it's an interest, and to have people who share that interest and hobby
and watch us. Two big idiots.
Yeah. It's just it'd be great for you to come along with us and experience it with us, because I know a lot of people don't have the chance to go and do something like that. They don't necessarily know people who are local,
would go out with them,
who would go out with them and enjoy that hobby with them. So yes, it is something we are looking into, to bringing you with us. It just won't be to these abandoned locations that are dangerous. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you very much for your questions tonight, and we are going to fulfil what I said at the beginning of the video. We're going to show you a quick clip of what is to come.
No!
What?
Simon and the cucumber question! Oh, I can't believe you missed out, Simon. Sorry, Simon, for his ignorance.
Well, I thought I was saving the best to last and forgot about the best. What was the question actually?
Do spirits like cucumbers?
And what's your answer to that?
If they like cucumbers in the living, they're gonna like them in the other.
Was that meant? Does that sound better in your head? Did that
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Once you like a cucumber, there's no going back.
But we might give them a quick shift, cucumber. We need
Excuse me?
a cucumber REM pod. Can you touch the cucumber for us? Oh, I felt something. What was that? Oh, dear me. Yeah. Right. Yes, Simon Hudson. We are watching you. We did see your question, and yes, the answer is spirits can love cucumber too. Right. Anyway, further ado, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll bring it here to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, and whenever you're watching videos, including this one and any investigations that we do, make sure you leave a comment. Doo-doo. No, that'd be doo-doo. Oh, actually, fair enough. It's actually me that's done doo-doo on an investigation. So, yeah. When you gotta go. I mean, you ask Simon Hudson why he goes out on an investigation with a backup toilet roll.
Because he goes out with someone called Dan, the paranormal.
Because he knows that Dan might need to doo-doo. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That's a fair point. Here's the clip for Monday night. Don't forget, tune in to us 8 PM this bank holiday for our return episode. Thanks again for the questions, and we'll see you again. Sleep tight.
Bye.
This floor is a bit... Oh, hello? Hello? Just heard a click in front of me. There's somebody in here? Hello? I just heard a click for me. I don't know if the camera will go away. Hello? Oh god, it's a blood splattered up the wall. Anyone in here? What the hell? I just heard a bang. No, I didn't hear a bang. My head's what's it? I just heard, literally. Guys, are you upstairs?
No.
I just heard a thud upstairs. I heard a tap. Just heard a tap again down there.